The battle for survival has raged across Africa for millennia. Driven by evolution, animals here have developed astounding hunting skills. These deadly adaptations are shaped by the extremes of the continent itself. From deep oceans to the African bushveld, violent dramas play out on a daily basis. Killer tactics are critical for some. They rely on stealth, others on bold frontal assaults. Predator swarms use strength in numbers to take down prey by the thousand. And when it comes to close combat, lethal weapons will win the battle between life and death. Africa has always been a continent of extremes, where predators join forces to wage a war for survival. These killer armies work together to surround, overpower, and take down their victims. When they swarm together, prey doesn't stand a chance against Africa's deadliest. Africa's dramatic landscape provides a backdrop where all animals have to adapt their strategies for survival. Fire and radical seasons wrench landscapes between extremes. Plains that teem with life in one season are scraped bare in the next. Forests cannot survive the drought, and only rains hold the desert at bay. Across 2/3 of Africa, grasslands peppered with trees form a brutal hunting arena. On these vast savannas, the largest and toughest herbivores on Earth have evolved. To take them on, leagues of the world's deadliest predators have to join forces. Lone assaults on these prey can end in death for the aggressor. Even killers that usually operate alone will enlist an army if the prey is right. This lone hunter lurks in waterways, preying on the desperate that must drink to survive. Nile crocodiles terrorize waterways across the continent. And in one Zambian river, they've amassed into a reptilian fleet. The Luangwa is a rich hunting ground. There are more Nile crocodiles here than in any other river on Earth. They thrive here because this landscape is deadlier than any predator. In the dry season, barely a drop of rain falls for 6 months. The Luangwa is the last major water source, but many don't make it in time. Parched corpses litter its banks and feed the growing army. But it's not just the dead that make the menu. On the banks, hunger pangs gnaw at a herd of zebras. The grass is clipped to dust. They must seek better grazing across the river. On land, zebras can kill with a kick. But here in the river, they're out of their safety zone. It's the perfect opportunity for a massacre. Crocodiles deploy like a fleet of living submarines and vanish. Crocs can hold their breath for 2 hours by excreting carbon dioxide into their guts. Invisible just below the surface, the deadly armada moves into position. The zebra simply can't see the danger surrounding them. Once they are in too deep to escape, the crocodiles launch an ambush. The zebras have one advantage. They're warm-blooded, so they're faster and more agile than the cold-blooded reptiles. The crocs need just one clean bite. The jaws clamp down with enough force to lift a pickup truck and pull the zebra under. The croc uses the water to make the kill. Once the prey is dead, the crocodiles must work together to devour it. Their round teeth don't cut, and half-meter jaws can't chew. The only way for the crocs to tear up the carcass is to use each other as leverage. They lock jaws and spin against each other to wrench the carcass into pieces. They swallow hooves, skin, and bones whole. Nothing is left behind. But when these giants leave the water, they lose their advantage. Their long, flat bodies are clumsy and slow. On dry land, different killers compete for the title of Africa's deadliest. One ranks amongst the most feared predators in the world. Twice the muscle of a heavyweight bodybuilder, yet capable of speeds over 60 kilometers per hour. Lions can kill virtually any large mammal in Africa. Yet even these mighty predators have a nemesis. A prey animal famous for turning the attack. Cape buffalo. Predation has shaped these wild cows into one of Africa's most aggressive herbivores. The half-ton Goliaths are quick to charge and famous for goring enemies with their half-meter horns. When it comes to predators, their best defense is attack. For lion prides to take on these fierce beasts, they need the strength of numbers and a foolproof plan. Today, they have both. This pride has driven their victim into the perfect trap. Stuck in a Luanga waterhole, this buffalo has nowhere left to run. The lions have blocked all exits. The bull can kill with a blow of his horns. The lion can't tackle him head-on. Instead, they'll wear him down. In the water, fear and cold sap the strength the bull needs to defend himself. The lions just need to hold the bank and wait. The adult lionesses conserve their energy. They let the sub-adults taunt the victim. Their expertise will be needed after dark. By nightfall, they've maneuvered the bull out of the waterhole, and he's exhausted. He's weak and bleeding from dozens of small wounds. The lionesses step up for the coup de grace. The young males hold the perimeter to prevent escape. The lionesses taunt the bull to draw his attention, but stay just out of range of his horns. The distraction allows another female to attack from behind. As the bull weakens, the youngsters join the fight. The lioness on top bites into his spine to disable his legs, as the rest target his tendons. Pain and exhaustion win at last. The bull can fight no more. Suffocation brings the battle to a merciful end. The reward is worth the risk. The bull's giant carcass will feed the pride for a week. Buffalo are one of the lion's primary prey, but hunts aren't always this successful. Numbers are the determining factor between these enemies. When the buffalo have backup, the odds can change dramatically. Some of the largest buffalo herds in Africa roam the Luangwa Valley. Amongst their ranks are hundreds of weak, vulnerable calves. But they are guarded by mothers that will kill to protect them. When threatened, the herd moves in a tight convoy. The adult females hold the front line and look out for danger to protect the weaker animals at the center. To breach the solid wall of angry muscle, lions must risk their lives. If a lion gets cornered by them, it's in deep trouble. A tree offers temporary refuge. Lions are awkward climbers. The herd won't leave until they've seen off this threat. The lion loses its fight with gravity above a sea of enraged buffalo. The herd shows no mercy. This is a game of survival, and every lion eliminated may be a buffalo saved. But brute strength is not always the best defense. 100 kilometers south of Luangwa, in the dusty bush of Tuli, Botswana, one caste of prey animals have found a less brutal way to stay alive. Antelope traded strength for speed. Their spring-loaded legs allow rapid acceleration up to twice the speed of the fastest Olympian. Here, only the fastest and fittest survive, because this is wild dog country. To the size of lions, but double their speed. These dogs kill fast, brutally, and often. One dog weighs little more than a German shepherd, but they're armed with the most powerful jaws for their size of all mammals. Working together, they're the most efficient killers on the continent. What they lack in size, they make up for in numbers. Packs of over 100 wild dogs once roamed Africa. Today, they teeter on the brink of extinction. Yet in places like Tuli, up to 50 dogs may run together. Pack mates are obsessively affectionate. Constant contact and vocalizations concrete the tight group bond. All of them submit to the authority of two top dogs, an alpha male and female. They determine when, where, and what the pack hunts. Wild dogs may roam a home range twice the size of New York City and cover over 30 miles a day in search of prey. Between hunting missions, the dogs play fight to keep their fitness and agility up. Their home base is the den where they hide their cubs, but they're always ready for action. a herd of eland passes dangerously close to the hidden barracks. It's time to move out. These giants are the slowest of all antelope, but that doesn't make them easy prey. They're 10 times the size of a wild dog, and they too can kill with their horns. It could be suicide to tackle the herd head-on. Like the lions, the dogs need to weaken their prey, but they won't do it with pain. This will be a battle of endurance. The pack splits into 2 groups, flankers and chasers. Flankers move ahead to block side escape routes, as chasers start to push the herd from behind. There's no stalk. They want the herd to see them and bolt. The flankers channel the fleeing antelope through the bush as the chasers increase the pace, until the prey can run no more. Exhaustion drives the eland to stop and face their enemies. The pack splits up and isolates victims. Three eland go down. Each dog latches on with jaws like a bear trap and jerks hard to rip open the skin. Though it looks brutal, shock numbs the pain and death is swift. In a matter of minutes, there's nothing left but bones and a bloodstain. Stomachs full, they head home. But this meal isn't over. Each dog's gut literally acts as a doggy bag. At the den, the hunters regurgitate meat and share it among the pups and the adults. They feed more than 30 mouths off a single hunt, but tomorrow they'll do it all over again. Feeding this growing predator militia is a full-time job. This landscape teems with prey, but most of it is too small to make the wild dog's radar. The tiny creatures that crawl the woodland floor are packed with nutrients. But giants like lions and wild dogs would have to eat thousands of them to stay fed. But a predator 1/10 their size evolved to cash in on this hidden stash. Banded mongooses are top of the food chain below the grassline. They live in large, close-knit troops, and like wild dogs, they stick together. But on the hunt, their tactics couldn't be more different. It's every mongoose for itself. Each animal raids the undergrowth for anything that crawls, and keeps what it finds to itself. So why do they stick together? At half the weight of a dachshund, mongooses are small predators with a big problem. They're also prey animals. Every predator larger than them is a threat, especially to the bite-sized babies they hide in their dens. Hunting together means there's always a set of eyes scouting the terrain. They're always ready to retreat at the first sign of danger. But not everyone makes it. Ever-present danger has groomed mongooses into nervous, flighty creatures. Yet there are some deadly predators that bring out a side to this troop that borders on the suicidal. Snakes are specialists at invading the narrow dens where mongooses hide their infants. When scouts spot one, they put out a call to arms. The entire troop races to meet the enemy. This Mozambican spitting cobra can kill a human. Its bite packs a potent cytotoxin that dissolves flesh. Yet this is one killer the mongooses will fight. The snake is a deadly threat to their young, but if they defeat it, it doubles as a protein-rich meal. Regular conflict with snakes has armed them for this moment. They're virtually immune to cobra venom. Now, the mongoose's teamwork pays off. With so many moving targets, the cobra can't choose who to attack. Biting isn't